the unit, we need to recognize that our ribbon cable for that front touchscreen is in this general location, and just to the right of the home button is where our Wi-Fi antenna is adhered to the bottom side of the touchscreen. So when we peel back our front touchscreen, let's be mindful of these two pieces as to not cause irreversible damage. Time to begin our entry into the iPad. Let's first start with our heat gun or blow dryer and begin to soften up the adhesive around the perimeter. About 1 to 2 minutes of the heat should suffice. Our triangle opening tools. Let's bring in our plastic opening tool, and you'll also notice in this video that we use a simple razor to remove the dock port assembly by disconnecting its single plug and removing the 2 Phillips screws that secure it into place. For the headphone jack assembly.